Hey, in this video, I want to show you one of the tools that I learnt. I actually learnt it from my mentor many years ago that helped me go from back then I would have been, I don't know, doing a couple $100,000 in revenue, and it took me well past the 7 figures. And so I want to show it to you and how you apply it to your studio, no matter what level you're at. It's just a practical thing that will help you scale your business faster and make sense of how you figure that out. So let me cast to the screen here, the iPad. And so what he drew out for me was this. It was just a triangle. And he sort of said, hey, you're earning this much and you want to earn, let's say, triple. So let's say you're paying yourself $50,000 and you want to get from 50,000 to 150. Or maybe it's even more. Whatever the number is, he basically said, hey, like, here's where you're at. You're in your business, you're doing all these tasks which provide you this dollar value here, right? And so he said, you're wearing all these hats. And think about it, in your studio, you might be doing the same thing. You are teaching, you're doing all the admin, the email inquiries, sending out info packs, doing, rescheduling lessons. You're running the concerts, you're planning the curriculum, you're even doing the cleaning, you're purchasing the instruments, you're doing reconciling the accounting, you're dealing with the accountant for end of year reports. You're doing all these different tasks, social media, marketing, on and on it goes, right? You're just doing, there's probably 100 different things that you do. And basically, if you want to get from earning a low amount to a much higher amount, you actually have to do less. And so he's like, you need to find how you're going to find the most valuable tasks out of all these ones, because it might be that this one and this one and this one and this one and this one are actually the most valuable. And so what you need to do is do those ones and do them a lot more, because they pay you a lot more, and these other ones only pay you a little amount. So you need to be able to hand those off to someone else. So you get the idea where this is headed, right? You end up scaling up and doing less. You do more of less, right? But, of course, when you get to the top, it's not actually like here we've got 1 or 2 things. When I was running my school, 2,000 students, well, I probably had 6 or 7 high-level tasks that I spent 80-90% of my time on. So it's not like you get down to just one. I mean, it's possible, but if you really love your job, there's always other things to do that are high value. So the goal is to move from having 50 hats to having 5 or 6, well, 3 to 5 probably. And so this is the formula that you need to do. Now, of course, that's really easy in a diagram, right? But how do you actually do that? And this was one of the tools that he showed me, and it's really simple. What you do for 1 week is you write down every single thing that you do, right? Every single work task, I should say. So you answer calls, take inquiries, you schedule lessons, you plan curriculum, you clean up, you whatever, you organize teachers, every single thing. You write out what those things are. And then we're going to come back to this list. So you end up with this whole list of tasks, and it's real fascinating to do, by the way, if you haven't done it before. Start on a Monday, go right through to a Sunday night. Every time there's a new thing you haven't written on the list yet, write it down. And so you end up with this massive list of things that you do, and you can kind of group them into buckets of the types of things that you do. Now, coming back to the money side, let's say that you earn, just for nice easy numbers sakes, let's say you earn 50,000, right? But you want to triple it, you want to get to 150, okay? So to go from here to here, if you do the maths, roughly a $50,000 salary is about $25 per hour. So if we triple that, if you want to get to 150, well, you need to be paid $75 per hour. And so this is the next step that you need to do. And you do this with your studio. I might be saying really outlandish high numbers to you. They might be low numbers, depends where you are in the world, the currency, etc. So just use whatever numbers you're at. If you're only getting $12,000 a year, right? 12,000, figure out how you're going to get to 50. You get the concept. But now you know that you're currently doing, if you're getting 50,000, you're getting like $25 an hour. So you're doing $25 an hour tasks. And most of you probably aren't doing 40 hours, you're probably doing 60 or 70 anyway, and so the rate's even lower. But you want to get to 75 per hour, right? So what you do is you now go through this list and you have everything that you do in the week. So let's say, emails, customer service, etc. You ask yourself, hey, would I pay someone $25 an hour to do that? And you say, yeah, well, I probably would. Or maybe, no, I'd probably pay someone $22 or $20 an hour to do that. Maybe only $15. And so you determine kind of like a range of what you would pay. So maybe this is only $15 to $25 per hour, depending on the quality of the person. And then you go to, say, the next thing. Let's say it's teaching. Well, what's this worth? Would you pay someone $25 per hour? Yeah, definitely. Would you pay someone $30, $40? Yeah, you probably would. So maybe it's like $25 to $40 per hour. And so you end up with a value for every task. And so then what you have to do, you have to look at what does that task actually bring in to the business. So obviously if you're teaching, then teaching is the thing that brings in the most money, right? And so we can do a whole lot of things to make that more valuable. Group lessons, there's 50 other things we can do to make the thing more profitable. But you need to ask yourself, if you want to be on $75 an hour, what tasks on your list are worth $75 an hour to your business? Teaching is probably going to be one at the start, but once you get to a certain level, once you've got sort of 150 students, you need to be off teaching. Like you need to be moving on because it's not worth $75 an hour to you anymore. You can get other people to do that well. Now you train the teachers and manage the team and get them the students and do the marketing and all the business development, because that's worth hundreds of dollars an hour, whereas the teaching is not worth that much to you. So you go through everything, you identify, hey, this thing's, I'd say I'd pay, $40 for that and $70 for that, and this thing's amazing. If I could do that more, it would be $100 an hour. This thing's only like 18, 20. You get the idea, right? And so this is where you start looking at, hey, these are the things that I should do. This task, this task, this task, and all these things here, these are the things I need to get off my plate, because I need to move from doing these 40 things to doing about 12 of them, and I need to find someone who can do some of these other tasks. And so you start grouping those roles. You start looking at what are the things on this list that you would only pay less for. So all the things that are whatever between $15 and $25, that's already beneath you. You're already doing work that's beneath your value. So you group those things, and so you look at what all those things are, and you group them in a natural way. So let's say one's admin. That's one of the most common ones people will get off their plate first. But not always. Sometimes people are just really admin savvy. That's their thing. They want to focus on that and remove teaching first. So it's up to you. So admin, you look at all those things that you can bundle into a job. You look at how many hours it's taking you per week. You'd use one of the best tools you could use for mapping this out is the feasibility study that's in module 2 in our Build a Music School program within our whole cash flow challenge. It shows you exactly how to map out all your finances really well in a very simple way that only takes you 10-15 minutes a month, and you can project everything and figure out exactly what you can afford, how it affects all your money. So check that out. I'll put a link for a free trial down below. And so you would figure out, hey, how much money do I have available? Because you may only have enough to pay someone for 5 hours, but here's the kicker, is that you would free up eventually those 5 hours, and you need to do, instead of $25 an hour tasks, you need to do $75 an hour tasks. So that basically pays for that person and brings the extra money in for the business and pays you for extra money as well. That's basically the whole principle. And so you go through and you'd bundle all these positions, and maybe it's one job that one person can do, or maybe it's actually just a bunch of smaller jobs. Like there might be like a marketing sort of role that's really, really small and simple, and it might have 3 things, and you only need it 2 hours per week. But the thing is, all these jobs, when you talk about like all those jobs down here with these things that you don't want to do, this one, this one, this one. And even if that's only this 2 hours per week, right, that there may actually be a dream job for someone. And so you might be thinking, oh, well, I don't want to do that, and I wouldn't do it for $20 an hour. It doesn't matter what you think. The world's got 8 billion people in it. There's someone out there, and this is their dream job. And so this is basically what you need to do. You don't need to think, oh, well, I can't give someone full time, or I can't give them 30 hours, or I can't give them $25 an hour. It doesn't matter. You create these little jobs and you build them over time. And so when you watch a video like how I run a music school with 2,000 students, I think it's one of the most popular YouTube videos on our channel for our sort of behind the scenes story. You'll see our sort of organizational chart, and it's got all these jobs and these these strings showing you the whole layout of everything, and you can go watch it. It's quite interesting. And all that there, not every single job is full time. There's lots of smaller roles that are part time. And so that concept applies to you in your studio. You may only have room for 2 hours a week or 5 hours a week, but if we go back up the top here, if it can remove you from doing a $25 an hour task, and it can take you up to a $75 an hour task, once you've trained the person, got them operating, which can take some time, you have to make sure you're working on the most profitable stuff. And then that's how you basically scale up, and you'll take your income from this 50k here to 150, from 150 to 300, whatever you want to do. So that's the thing that really helped me. It took me from 30 students working solo on my own to having 2,000 students, team of 60 people, and the whole thing not only grew without me, but not ran without me, it also grew without me, which is really cool. And it means once you get to the top, you are just selecting like the coolest things that you want to do, and everyone else can do the other things. They're all important stuff, but you don't have to do it anymore. And truth be told, is as you move through these ranks and you specialize more in what you do, you actually kind of lose a little bit of passion for some of those lower level things. So, like as an example, once you start stepping back from teaching, you'll really enjoy that free time, being able to not be in the classroom, not be able to leave because you're in a lesson, you can't be distracted, but to have that freedom and to go home at 5 o'clock if you want, rather than teach till 8 o'clock. You've got that freedom. And so when you have to step back to cover someone or something like that, it can be cool because you need to remind yourself what those lower level tasks are like, but you kind of lose a little bit of passion for that because you've moved to the next level. It's kind of like if you're a black belt and you start on the lowest level exercises and you get to a black belt, you don't want to keep doing real basic stuff. You want to do harder stuff. You want to be challenged more. And the same thing happens as you move through even those new barriers. So if you just go to just training the teachers, like that was a new really exciting thing for me at one time. It might have been this sort of level, but eventually actually that kind of loses some interest as well, and eventually you get to the top and it's now I'm training the managers and the managers are training the teachers, and that's a really cool new thing, and on it goes. You're just always pushing forward, and that is what kind of propels you forward, because you always have to do these higher level tasks that are worth the most, but they're also providing all the other jobs to everyone at these other levels. So it's not only what just grows the company, it's not about just making as much money as possible, but you're creating jobs, you're able to invest your time into creating better opportunities for students, and on it goes. So that is a bit of an overview there, and I hope you found that useful and encouraging. I really encourage you, don't be someone that just has the same year 30 times over and says that you got 30 years experience. Push forward, like go to new levels, and you'll be surprised at what you can achieve, and it'll just be so much more exciting and so much more adventurous. You have so many more challenges. It won't be easy, but it will grow you as a person, it'll grow your business, it'll grow your income, and it'll grow the impact that you make in your community, and provide more for your students in terms of experiences, and also provide for you a better income and able to support your family and do some of the cool things that you want to be able to do in your personal life as well. So there we go. Hope you found that encouraging. Check out down below 7-day trial to our Build a Music School program, and we'll show you there's a whole library of hundreds of videos and detailed resources, and you can interact with our community, people that get this. You can join little independent mastermind groups that will kick your butt and keep you accountable and really challenge you and help and support you. And there's just like endless resources that we sort of curate from everything from our journey, as well as all the best stuff from members who are doing great things and they want to share their tools and resources and lessons as well. So it's really cool. Jump in, check it out. Any questions, also put them down below.